Hello everybody, my name is Mitch and today we're talking about UFC 263. It happens on June 12th. If you're new here, we talk about the fight picks first and then we'll talk about the reasons why after. So let's go ahead and get started. This is a stacked card. We have Carlos Felipe, Zaire Zayam, Chase Hooper, Matt Fravola, Pannie Kianzad, Hakeem Dawodu, Lauren Murphy, Eric Anders, Drew Dober, Jamaha Hill, Bilal Muhammad, Leon Edwards, Davison Figueiredo, and Isreal Adesanya. Those are my picks, and I'll talk about the reasons why. As always, I have the odds for you, brought to you by bestfightodds.com. There they are. Carlos Felipe versus Jake Collier. For Carlos Felipe, while I do think he lost to Justin Tafa, I do think he has good boxing and good cardio. For Jake Collier, the first thing I noticed was the picture in typology compared to the picture that should be right above here from the UFC website. You know, it looks like he's gained some weight, and I looked into it. A lot of these fighters are against middleweights, light heavyweights. Now he's in heavyweight. I mean, he has no win streak since 2014. I'm going to go with Felipe with this one. Fares Zayam versus Luigi Vendramini. For Fares Zayam in his last fight, he showed good leg kicks, good takedown defense, takedowns of his own. I liked what I saw there. On the other hand, we have Luigi, and he showed a really good ability to counterpunch and actually gets the finish. Just kind of countered anything that Justin tried to do here. He is 5'8" with a 73-inch reach. And then on the other hand, we have Zayam at 6'1" with a 75-inch reach. I think this will play a part. I also think Zayam just has a little more tools. I'm going with him. Chase Hooper versus Steven Peterson. On Chase Hooper's side of things, I am sensing a bit of Dana White privilege on his end. For Steven Peterson, we have a not very good record in his recent bouts. According to Wikipedia, he's a brown belt in Jiu-Jitsu and a green/white band in Muay Thai, whatever that means. Correct me if I'm wrong, but that doesn't sound like crazy striking to me. So I think Chase Hooper should be able to take this one. I'm going with Chase Hooper to get it to the ground, do some Jiu-Jitsu stuff, and not have too much of a problem standing up. Frank Camacho versus Matt Fravola. Sometimes I do some bro MMA math, so class is in session. For Frank Camacho, we see that his recent loss is to a guy who's losing to everyone. On the other side, we have Matt Fravola. His only recent loss is to a guy who is only losing to Islam Makhachev. So there we go. We're going with Matt Fravola. Pannie Kianzad versus Alexis Davis. For Pannie's side of things, we see some unanimous decision wins, and I think she's going to be able to squeeze out another one. Alexis Davis is susceptible to those unanimous decision losses, as we can see. Fun fact, she did beat Amanda Nunes in 2011. So that's always fun. Amanda Nunes is so dominant nowadays, but at any rate, we're going with Pannie. Movsar Evloev versus Hakeem Dawodu. For Movsar, he's kind of just been on a tear here, so I will admit that I'm kind of being a fan of Hakeem. It's really hard to bet against Movsar. For me and Hakeem, I'm a fan because he shows leg kicks, good takedown defense, more importantly, the ability and will to get back up. His last fight was against Zubaira, who's kind of similar to Evloev in that they're Russian and they were trying to take him down. I mean, this guy was coached by Habib. Split decision. I did watch it. I think Hakeem won. I'm going with Mean Hakeem. Lauren Murphy versus Joanne Calderwood. Hard fight to pick, but good streak there for Lauren Murphy, and Derek Lewis said that she should have been fighting for the title, but the UFC was screwing her, so I'm going to go with Derek Lewis and Lauren Murphy with this one. Eric Anders versus Darren Stewart. For Eric Anders, it's hard to pick him considering his recent resume here, but for Darren Stewart, he really just looked like he got outworked by Kevin Holland, and I think Eric Anders is going to be able to mimic that. I'm going with Eric Anders. I know the last belt ended in an illegal knee, but hopefully this one goes, the full fight. Drew Dober versus Brad Riddle. I am a fan of Drew Dober. He does a lot of things well. He signs up to fight Islam Makhachev, which is pretty gangster. I feel like a lot of lightweights don't want to do that. Generally gets the finish here. Here we have Brad Riddle. He is on a pretty good win streak here. I do think that Drew Dober is kind of better than, the skill and competition he's faced so far. So this is a big opportunity for Brad Riddle. I haven't really seen a reason to think that he's going to be able to get it over Drew Dober. So I'm going to go with Drew Dober for now, but I am excited for this bout. Paul Craig versus Jamahal Hill. I am a fan of both of these fighters. For Paul Craig, he's always exciting to watch, fun to watch. He's crafty on the ground there, which is where I do think he's going to want to take it against Hill if he can get it to the ground. By the way, this win due to tapped strikes, that was interesting. I do recommend watching that if you get a chance. At any rate, Hill, we see he wins here a lot of the times. He just has heavy volume of heavy strikes, and I think that's going to be a problem for Paul Craig for his entry, trying to get it to the ground and just standing up how he wants. I think it's going to be a problem for Paul Craig. I'm going with Hill. Damian Maia versus Belal Muhammad. First of all, everyone loves Damian Maia. He's given a lot of the fights to the organization and other organizations in respect to Damian Maia. But having said that, with all due respect, he is 43. I think this is an opportunity to push Bully, a potential cash cow for the UFC. Got his eye poked against Leon Edwards. I think that Belal's going to be able to win the stand-up and maybe even ragdoll him around in the later rounds, maybe toward the end of the second or third round. I would not want to engage with Maia in grappling type exchanges early, but I'm sure after a round of stand-up that would be a little easier for him. I see Belal to really, as his nickname would suggest, bully Maia. I'm going with Belal Muhammad. Leon Edwards versus Nate Diaz. Man, what a fight. Nate Diaz fighting here in 2021 against Leon Edwards. Who saw this coming? I did not. Leon Edwards does everything well besides get the fans' interest. Poked Belal Muhammad's eye. That probably didn't help with getting the fans' interest. But otherwise, on a crazy win streak, besides his loss to Kamaru Usman there, who is the current champion. Nate Diaz is just such a gangster for taking this fight. I feel like he wants to give it to someone that he feels like deserves the big payday that he knows he is. Like against Jorge Masvidal, I could see him also maybe picking like Wonder Boy. Maybe could have been an option, but I'm excited to see how this goes. Does Nate Diaz really plan on showing up and beating Leon Edwards, or does Nate Diaz plan on showing up and getting paid? I really don't know what to think about this fight other than I'm not sure how Diaz can win this fight. Is he really going to try to tire out Leon Edwards? And I think a submission can come here. It pains me to do this, but I have to go with Leon Edwards. Although I'm super excited for this fight. Deiveson Figueiredo versus Brandon Moreno. I rewatched the first fight, and man, what a fight. Without getting into the rounds and who won what, overall we could see that Figueiredo hit harder, although Brandon Moreno had a crazy chin, crazy toughness. Moreno, it almost seemed like he could not generate enough power to put enough damage into Figgy or put Figgy down. So with that being said, without Figgy getting tired, I feel like that's really all he needs to fix is getting tired. Brandon Moreno needs to go back, figure something out. He broke his left arm in the fight, it looked like, toward the end. I don't remember confirming that or not, but his arm did not look good in that fifth round, and I know that without the nut shot in round 3, I think it was, then the judges would have given it to Figgy. So I'm going to go with history in this one. I don't think there's going to be a crazy switch up for the second fight. I think it's going to be similar to the first. Deiveson Figueiredo just looking too powerful in there, kind of like Dustin versus Max Holloway, where Max was landing a lot and doing well, but Dustin's shots were just too strong. Maybe I need to rewatch that one, and Dustin was doing more than just landing bigger. Maybe he was landing more as well, but anyway, I'm going with Figueiredo in this one. Isreal Adesanya versus Marvin Vettori, the main event for the card. I do have a video specifically over this fight, and I'll leave that link in the description, but in short, I like this fight to be similar to the last fight, maybe minus the Marvin Vettori takedown. I think Isreal will go back and really work on that, especially after Jan Blachowicz seemed to reveal that issue about his game, or weakness, vulnerability, if you will. Marvin Vettori moves forward, tries to get to the takedown. Sometimes he does try to stand with you, though, if he thinks he can beat you there, similar to this Jack Hermanson fight. He's not going to think that against Izzy. He's going to try to take him down. Maybe he'll try to stand with him. Maybe he'll surprise us, but I don't see him being able to close the distance. I see this to be similar to the Paulo Costa fight, except look for Marvin Vettori to be more willing to go in regardless of the punishment that is there. I feel like his fighting spirit is very high, hard to mimic, which is kind of impressive. So I do think he will keep moving forward, which may result in him taking some damage. I'm going with Isreal Adesanya, and still. Thanks for watching this video. Please hit the thumbs up button and feel free to leave a comment and tell me what you think. I always like reading through those. I've got to be honest, sometimes you guys make me rethink my picks. A lot of you guys have really good assessments on the fights. As always, thank you to everyone that has subscribed. That's the most helpful thing you can do for me. But that's it for me today. I'm excited for this one. I'll see you guys Saturday. Peace.